On PC, it's great to have an open market. We all love being able to shop from multiple storefronts on PC, having that availability to buy and purchase games from whatever market you like. However, I swear, there's one goober in this industry that I can't stand. The Epic Games CEO, Tim Sweeney, I truly believe is out of touch. Now, of course, I haven't played Fortnite in a long time, and I don't really buy my games off of Epic Games Store, and I respect what Fortnite does as a game, despite me not being a big fan of it. I like the fact that it has a creator program. I like the fact that the game is focused on more of giving the power to the players and being giving these players capabilities to make their own games within the game. There's no doubt that the biggest money chaser in the entire industry is Fortnite. We all are very aware that for a while now, especially including companies like Sony, have been chasing the golden goose, the prevailable ghost of another Fortnite. And I think Epic Games struck gold with that. Despite all my praises towards Fortnite and even Epic Games' older titles, like Gears of War, for example, I have to say that their CEO by far is the most out of touch person I've seen in the industry. For some reason, this guy, Tim Sweeney, he has a weird obsession with Gabe Newell and Valve in particular. There's not a day I don't think this guy wakes up and doesn't have Valve on his mind. Steam, of course, is a name that most people recognize. Your grandmother knows Steam, your mom knows Steam, the local whore down the street probably knows Steam. Everybody knows Steam, right? Steam has become the de facto vanilla flavored I forgot, like a storefront on PC gaming. It is the platform on PC gaming for the majority of players. Now, you may ask, why is that? Well, that's because Steam offers good stuff. They offer good discounts. They offer good things to the players. Steam rarely, I would say, fucks up. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not perfect, but they do a good job at servicing the players and providing things that people want. However, this guy, Tim Sweeney, has some particular problems with Valve, especially with their AI situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Valve tends to put labels on games when they get published on Steam that have the AI use logo. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that when a game, let's say, whatever, I can't even think of a game, but as a game gets published on Steam and it gets flagged with the AI, it's as simple as if you go to the Steam page and you look at the game, it will be flagged for use of AI. Now, what does it mean? Does it mean any kind of source of AI? No. In particular, it means that if the game uses AI in a sense of it's generating assets, like we're talking major parts of the game that have been generated with AI, it will be flagged. Good old Tim Sweeney, though, has a problem with that. And as he waggles his finger and talks about Valve and tells them how to run their company, because, he is clearly running a very, very good ship over there with Epic Games Store. It's totally not a sinking ship compared to GOG or Steam. But no, I implore you, Tim Sweeney, please explain to Valve and Gabe Newell why your ship is sailing much, much better than theirs.
No.
This is like if somebody told Albert Einstein more about science and actually believed that they knew about more about science than Albert Einstein did. I mean, for real, your face has to be so up your own ass to believe that you can tell another company that is much more successful than you, much more fair to their customers, on how to run their business. As you can see here, this is Tim Sweeney's official statement. He goes on to say, it's unfortunate we're in this situation. It's unfortunate that so many developers are now put into this position. If we want to launch a game and get it as widely publicized as possible, you've got to put it on Steam so people can wishlist it. And if you want to play it on Steam, then you have to get this scarlet letter of AI attached to your product. And now there is a hater community trying to kill the game. I have a very, very important question to ask you, dear viewer. Is it a problem to acknowledge and tell your customers things about the product that you're trying to sell them? I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason why this guy doesn't want that to be a thing is because he's probably trying to push games that use generative AI in massive ways that take away people's jobs and gets rid of all creativity and artistic integrity in the video game industry. It's almost like he's trying to tell a message. He then to go yap about how irresponsible Valve and how they've fucked up majorly and how they shouldn't be using AI labels to label games because it kills the hype. I don't know if you're just dumb or if you're idiotic, but informing your customer about the product that you're trying to sell them is not a bad thing. It's called being a good businessman. It's like if I were to take a cupcake and then put poison in it and then say, well, here you go, have this cupcake. I'm not going to tell them that there's poison in it because obviously they wouldn't buy it. So here you go, take my cupcake, and then they eat it and they die. Is it really wrong to tell people that if there's AI inside this product, and there's a good subsection of people in gaming currently, it's a very, very hot topic, that if there's generative AI, if the game is built straight from AI, the whole thing was built from the ground up from fucking C3PO, you don't think for a second that people would feel wronged? They would feel almost used because they weren't told that the AI was used in the game, and they don't support that. That's why it's very important to inform your customers about the things that you sell them. It's very strange of a CEO of a rival company talking up to Valve and saying no, waggling your finger, no, you're doing the bad thing because you're informing your customers about serious things that is a hot topic in the industry. That's a no, that's bad. You're not supposed to tell people that there's AI being used in this video game. You're not supposed to tell people that this game was made by a robot and not by human beings. It's almost like they want to sell AI games on their platforms, or even they're making AI games. I'm not entirely against AI. I know I have ran a massive brigade against AI, but I don't completely, entirely, absolutely hate AI. I do think AI has some positive things.
Walt, please just hear me out, please.
God forbid you say positive things about AI, but I do believe it. For example, the grunt work, the menial tasks, the things that people don't want to do, the very unnecessary stuff that doesn't really take any artistic value up, and like the unnecessary stuff. I can't really go into detail, but the menial tasks I think is something that AI could be useful for. My only problem with AI is that when it starts replacing people's jobs that actually do artistic things, or they take over the entire game, like they start generating entire assets, that is when I personally have a problem with AI. It's impressive to me though that this guy mouth milks the nuts of Gabe Newell so much. It's almost like he goes to dreams at night after he takes his fuzzy slippers off and dreams about Valve and Gabe Newell. I don't get it. I don't know why this guy is so obsessive with AI and Valve in particular. His brigade doesn't stop there though with critiquing Valve. He then has to critique Destiny 2. If you don't know about the downfall of Destiny 2, it's a pretty sad story. Well, after somebody tweeted about the downfall of Destiny 2 and how an insider explained that a lot of the reasons why Destiny 2 failed was because assets were taking a long time to create and the budget was getting low. So Tim Sweeney decided to say, well, you know what? There's a number one thing on the internet right now that a lot of people are using, and it's called AI. I think if they would have used a little bit of that magic sauce, that little AI stuff, maybe Destiny 2 would still be here. Does this guy actually, does his brain functions, or like, does the delusion, when does the delusion end? When does it end? Do you think for a second that the Destiny 2 community would support the game if that were to happen? If you know how contentious it is, then why would you even reference it? And then you're trying to hide behind the guise of, if they don't know, then they won't know and they won't care. No, that's not the way that the industry works now. I've never seen somebody be so out of touch with their own community. I swear to God, I do not believe that he plays games. I've heard before in the past that he doesn't play games, and maybe that is true. Maybe he doesn't. He's actually out of touch.
Am I so out of touch? No, It's the children who are wrong.
Not only is he out of touch with gaming, but he's also out of touch with the entire industry that he's in. Because if you don't know, Bungie is a shit show. Bungie is on fire. Bungie has been on fire for a long time. There were many problems with Destiny and the development team behind it and Bungie as a whole. I don't think AI or not using AI was the problem. I think there was much more ridiculous reasons, especially when you had the CEO of the company showing off his fancy cars to people before he fires them. As of recently, I was a somewhat supporter of Epic Games, and I still am. I'm still going to support the company, but it's just ridiculous to see such an out of touch CEO. I've never seen such delusion in the belief that AI is going to solve all the world's problems and AI this and AI that. I honestly get tired of it sometimes, hearing about all the AI stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, not only do you represent an entire company like Epic Games, which is of massive proportions, but you also throw sticks and twigs over the fence at Steam constantly, who's living in a giant mansion while you're living in a shack, and you're wondering why their company is doing more successful than yours is, but you're so entitled, or I don't even know how to describe it, that you're criticizing them, but they're doing better than you. I don't get that. I don't get that mentality. I can understand you can criticize particular things about people. I'm not saying nothing's above criticism, but saying delusional shit like this, which is an objective like fail on your part, and you can see, like, if you open your eyes, you can see that AI is a very contentious thing in the industry. For you to say, "Oh, don't tell the consumers about it," they don't have to know. It's just delusional. You're just out of touch. I'm running in circles here because it baffles me to see somebody who goes on these tyrants on Twitter, and they speak about all these things, and they fucking suck the dick of AI so much. It's just ridiculous, because you can clearly see where these people's ambitions and where their heart's actually at. It's not in the artistic form. It's not in the video game industry as an artistic form. They're in it to make their wallets fatter. Well, in this case, it's making your wallets less fat. It's like putting your wallet on a diet with the stupid decisions that Epic Games is making. Will Epic Games ever catch up with GOG or Steam? I don't know. Maybe GOG, because GOG has its own subsection of people. It is for a different audience. But do I think Epic Games is ever going to catch up with Steam? I highly doubt that. Unfortunately, Steam runs a very, very massive ship, and Steam has done the age-old, do nothing and you win strategy for a long time, and it has been very successful. People enjoy the policies of Steam, people enjoy the discounts on Steam, and people have a large library of games on Steam. So saying, well, you don't have Fortnite and you don't have Riot's games, I don't really think that Valve really cares, unfortunately. And it sucks that this guy is trying to do the whole open arms thing to gather Steam. That's another thing. He doesn't really hate Steam. He wants to gather. He wants to put the whole industry together, but he also throws shade at them because they don't practice his AI schemes. So it's very weird. Very, very, very strange. So, Tim Sweeney is a dork. He's a loser. I don't know why a CEO of a massive company like that is constantly berating another company. I wouldn't say berating, but talking shit about another company and pushing this whole AI thing. And then he goes to the office the next day and he wonders why the company isn't doing so well and why even Fortnite, of all games, is losing money. So, yeah, maybe he'll grow up one day. I don't know. Poor little Tim Sweeney. But yeah. Anyways, though, that's all I had to yap about. See ya.